Hi everyone, welcome back to Bites MD. I'm Dr. Sam, and today we're going to talk about one of the most effective diets for heart health and overall wellness. The DASH diet, which stands for Dietary Approaches to Stop Hypertension. It's a diet that's been heavily studied with strong scientific evidence supporting its role in lowering blood pressure and reducing the risk of chronic diseases. The DASH diet was originally developed by the National Institutes of Health to help people lower their blood pressure without medication. Hypertension or high blood pressure is a leading cause of heart disease and stroke, affecting millions of people worldwide. Today we'll break down the science behind the DASH diet and its core principle and how it can benefit your heart health. The DASH diet has a rich history rooted in the efforts to combat hypertension and promote heart health. Here's a look at its origins. In the early 1990s, the DASH diet was developed by the National Heart, Lung, and Blood Institute as part of a series of research studies aimed at finding effective ways to manage high blood pressure through diet. The initial research focused on understanding how different dietary patterns could impact blood pressure and overall cardiovascular health. The foundational studies known as the DASH trials began in the early 1990s. The results from the DASH trial were published showing significant improvements in blood pressure and overall cardiovascular health. This led to a broader adoption of the DASH diet as a standard recommendation for managing hypertension and improving heart health. Since its introduction, the DASH diet has been continuing to be the subject of extensive research demonstrating its benefits beyond just blood pressure control, including impacts on weight management, diabetes prevention, and cancer risk reduction. So what exactly is the DASH diet? The DASH diet emphasizes a diet rich in vegetables, whole grains, lean proteins, while limiting sodium and unhealthy fats. What's fascinating about the DASH diet is that its benefits goes beyond blood pressure control. It's been shown to improve cholesterol levels, aid in weight management, and reduce the risk of diabetes, heart disease, and certain cancers. It's a flexible and sustainable approach that doesn't require drastic changes, just smarter food choices. So what would your plate look like if you're following the DASH diet? Here are the key components. Fruits and vegetables aim for 4 to 5 servings each per day. They provide essential nutrients like potassium, magnesium, and fiber, which helps lower blood pressure. Whole grains, 6 to 8 servings per day. Whole grains like brown rice, oatmeal, and whole wheat bread are rich in fiber and essential in nutrients which aid in heart health and improve digestion. Lean proteins focus on lean meats, poultry, fish, and plant-based proteins like beans and legumes. About 2 servings of meat and poultry a fish a day is recommended, along with several servings of plant-based proteins throughout the week. Low-fat dairy, 2 to 3 servings per day. Low-fat or fat-free dairy products such as milk, yogurt, and cheese provide calcium, which is important for heart health and blood pressure regulation. Nuts, seeds, and legumes, 4 to 5 servings per week. These are a great source of magnesium, protein, and healthy fats, which contribute to overall heart health. Use healthy fats like olive oil in moderation, about 2 to 3 servings per day, and healthy fats from sources like nuts, seeds, and olive oil. The DASH diet is especially effective when sodium intake is reduced. The goal is to consume no more than 2,300 milligrams of sodium per day, with an optimal target of 1,500 milligrams for those needing even more control over their blood pressure. Although data now shows the dietary sodium intake may not be as important with benefits to blood pressure. Limit your added sugars and saturated fats. Minimize sweet, sugary drinks and foods high in saturated fats such as fatty meals, full-fat dairy, and tropical oils. Aim for no more than 5 servings of sweets per week and opt for a heart-healthy fats like those found in nuts and fish. The DASH diet is one of the most well-researched diets in clinical nutrition. Let's look at the scientific evidence. The DASH sodium trial, a landmark study published in the New England Journal of Medicine, found that participants who follow the DASH diet while limiting sodium intake experienced a significant reduction in blood pressure. People with hypertension saw their blood pressure drop by 7 to 12 systolic and 1 to 3 diastolic. A huge improvement comparable to the effects of blood pressure lowering medicine. This reduction in blood pressure is largely due to the diet emphasis on potassium, calcium, and magnesium. These 3 minerals help relax the blood vessels and reduce its effect of sodium on blood pressure. Cardiovascular health. Beyond blood pressure health, the DASH diet has been shown to improve overall heart health. Research from a 2013 study in nutrition demonstrated that people adhere to the DASH diet has a significantly reduced risk of cardiovascular disease, congestive heart disease, stroke, heart failure, risk by 20%, 21%, 90%, and 29% respectively. The diet focuses on reducing saturated fats and increasing intakes of heart-healthy fats. Fiber, antioxidants play a key role in protecting against cardiovascular disease, diabetes, and weight management. The DASH diet has been shown to help with diabetes management. A study published in Diabetes Care found that individuals with type 2 diabetes following the DASH diet saw improvements in blood sugar control, decreasing A1C by 1.7% and fasting blood glucose levels by 29%. In fact, over a 10-year period, study shows that adhering to a DASH diet had a 20% lower risk of developing type 2 diabetes. This is because the diet focuses on whole grains, fruits, vegetables, and lean proteins, help regulate blood sugar levels and prevent blood sugar spikes. In addition, the DASH diet can support healthy weight loss, as it emphasizes nutrition-dense, low-calorie foods, helping reduce overall caloric intake without the need for strict calorie counting. Cancer prevention. There's evidence to suggest that the DASH diet may also help reduce the risk of certain cancers, particularly colorectal cancer. A study in the Clinical Nutrition found that individuals who closely followed the DASH diet had a 20% lower risk of colorectal cancer. This protective effect is likely due to the diet's high intake of fiber, antioxidant, and phytochemicals found in fruits, vegetables, and whole grains. However, it's important to note that the research on DASH diet and cancer prevention is still emerging, and more large-scale studies are needed to confirm these findings. In conclusion, the DASH diet is a proven evidence-based approach to reducing blood pressure and improving overall health, with decades of research supporting its benefit. The DASH diet can lower the risk of heart disease, stroke, diabetes, and even in certain cancers. However, like all diets, it is essential to view these findings in context and understand the limitations of current research. In future videos, we'll dive deeper in how we can make the DASH diet part of your daily routine with practical tips, meal plans, and strategies to make it easier to follow. Thanks for tuning in. If you're interested in learning more about the DASH diet and other evidence-based diets, please be sure to check out my other videos for more health tips and insights. See you guys next time.